More music. Better mental health. Only on IPL Radio.
And that's right, you're back with Mish on Good Vibrations this Friday afternoon. Now, I've got a few people in the studio today, so I'm going to introduce us properly because we had a little bit of a technical issue earlier, so we weren't able to talk. So, of course, it's myself, and that's the most important one here, of course. And then sitting next to me, I've got Monique. Monique's work experience. Hello, yes. Monique.
Hi.
This is about your fourth week now?
Third week.
Third? Feels like you've been here forever.
I know,
you've been so good. You've been really clever. Then I have our guest today, Teresa. Hello, Teresa. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Teresa is the author of Life Being in It. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Great. We've had you on before. We've chatted about the book. Yep. But we're going to talk about narcissists today. Mm-hmm. Which will be interesting conversation. And then we have Andre, my co-host, back. Hi, Andre. He's back. So that's great to have him back into the studio. We've missed you. Don't disappear like that on some again. So let's chat about, we're going to chat about now about narcissists. Now, to me, the word narcissist only came into my life probably about 5 years ago that someone was using that word. I've never used that word in the past. Because, I don't know, it's a label, just another label. To me, they're just bad people. What's the difference between just a bad person and a narcissist? I mean...
Well, at the moment, with the research that I did into this particular subject, I've realised that everything about a human being when they're ugly traits, all our ugly traits that we've all got, are now all being umbrellaed underneath the narcissism term. So what I found was that before, where it was just a covert, an overt narcissist or a covert narcissist, and now there's, toxic and malignant and all that. So I did want to discuss what the difference is.
Yes, please. Because is narcissist just a new word that everyone likes to use?
Definitely. It's become trending.
It's trendy. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling because, 5 years ago, as I said, I've never heard of that word before, but one of my friends was using it a lot about her ex-husband, and I thought I didn't know what it meant. I had to actually Google it, to be honest with you.
I think psychologically, or in the psychological world and research, we have a much better understanding of what narcissism is, and we've redefined the traits and found out how it fits into psychosis and social disorders as well. So we've got a much better understanding.
Is it something that you're born with, or is it something you turn into?
It's got to do with, from what I looked at, it's to do with it's to do with the childhood. It's childhood trauma. So where they've failed to develop emotional empathy, self-awareness, or a stable sense of identity and self-esteem. So that's from my notes. So a narcissist feel defective and cope with deep-seated insecurity and shame by repressing those feelings and adopting a grandiose persona, a delusion of superiority and entitlement that they constantly assert at the expense of those around them.
I love that. I want to take a photo of that because there's someone in my family's life currently that fits that. And when we're talking about this narcissist today, I'm going to be focusing my attention on that person that is in my life.
Okay.
So I'm trying to understand it and can understand
I'll be the same as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say who it is.
Someone.
It's not male or female. It's a person in my life.
Right.
So and that makes me try to understand it better, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I want to take a photo of that piece of paper because that person...
I'll put this one.
Yeah, can you
I'll send it all,
Because that perfectly fits.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
So the important thing to realise is that a lot of things, for example, eye rolling, right? Now, everyone's been eye rolled at least once, right?
Yeah.
But now that is put underneath a narcissistic trait. It's considered a narcissistic trait. Because and also when people, if you know people who are always the victim of something, constantly needy, victim, they are also put under the narcissistic because it's very self-serving. The biggest thing to differentiate is the lack of empathy. So someone who just doesn't care about what they do and how it affects the people around them. They need to control. They need to be in control.
Yep.
They do not think there's anything wrong with them
Correct.
whatsoever.
Mm.
It's always you.
Correct, yep.
And there's no self-awareness.
No self-awareness at all, and they're not willing to go there. It's too painful for them. But I don't think we should necessarily feel sorry for a narcissist. They also could do the work. Just a lot of them refuse to do it because they don't see that there's a problem with them.
They don't even notice that.
Even though they're destroying the people around them.
Yes.
And they particularly navigate towards empathic people.
Yes.
And kind people and people who have been raised in narcissistic homes will generally become what it does to people who are around that. It makes us our self-esteem becomes very low. So our self-worth, and we just want to please, or we're hyper vigilant in pleasing those people around us.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's quite an in-depth subject.
What about because you said that narcissism can also be the victim player, but what if that victim player is also empathetic? So they're very empathetic to others, but they are that victim as well.
I'm not saying I actually agree with all
this is what you've researched.
Yeah, but researching it's like everything of a that's considered negative in the human is being pushed under the umbrella. But there's a difference between narcissism and then a narcissistic personality disorder. So what we're discussing here today is more the narcissistic personality disorder.
Okay. Yeah.
And what healthy narcissism is, because we've all got it, because we've all got our little uglies, right,
course.
that we've got to deal with and work through. And most of us with self-awareness can work through those things.
Yep.
But a person with a narcissistic personality disorder is unable to work on it because they don't think they've got a problem. They really do believe that they're above, and so that's where the issues are. When you meet someone who has a narcissistic personality disorder, it's different than someone who is rude and eye rolls you and doesn't like you, right? Or they think that they're more important than you. There is a big difference. So when you're with a narcissist, they will break you down over time, especially if you're not an assured person yourself. They will break you down.
So I think it's important to explain what a sociopath is, because narcissistic personality disorders fit into that sociopathic.
Okay.
What do you know about it? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so a sociopath is somebody who is controlling, doesn't form good relationships with other people, or uses people for a purpose. So they'll groom someone for a purpose. So domestic violence perpetrators, for instance, will have control over someone for a purpose, whatever that might be, to serve them. Generally, there's no empathy. Well, no, there's never, ever any empathy.
So that's where you're going to psychopath as well. So they're sort of in the same.
Well, psychopaths are slightly different because psychopaths have.
They know they're doing
purpose.
Do they know they're doing it?
Not necessarily. No.
But if they're grooming for that purpose, then surely they're aware of what they're doing.
They've got a greater
Whereas
plan.
I think narcissists aren't aware of what they're doing. Although they do have a purpose.
I think they are very aware, and that's
You're
why
right.
I don't think we should feel sorry for them. For whatever reason, they've put this big wall up.
Yep.
I don't think that. I don't think we should be feeling sorry for people whose behaviour is not.
No, not at all.
Don't they tend to build a very wall, a massive wall, and they don't bring in loved ones that much? Is that what
do you mean they don't bring
narcissists? Do they block people out because they're ashamed or something? Do they tend to block out their loved ones and stuff, and they don't bring out their genuine side? Is that a possibility that people could do that?
There's certainly no real genuine person in a narcissist's character. From my understanding, a narcissist will draw people in because they need that approval.
narcissistic supply. They need you to tell them how great they are, and if you don't, that's when you see the other side. Otherwise, if you're doing everything they want you to do, yes. I'm just trying to work out how to. Yeah,
what Monique was saying.
Monique's question. So
do they block out loved ones? Is that what you're saying?
Like, they build up a wall and they don't like open up about things, like if they're like hurting and stuff, because there's different types. It's not always like wanting to bring people in, but like they block people out, because a person in my life has blocked me out basically
emotionally
and
always
like
okay.
Someone new in their life came in and they're slowly like helping like open up and stuff, and like I was trying not to cry before, because like literally like everything you were saying, I was like, oh wait a minute, this is like hitting me really hard. So it's like I want to know if that's also a part of like a trouble that they can go through.
Yes, and that type of narcissist is more of a covert narcissist, and sometimes the way that they're unable to share their feelings, they're unable to connect with you emotionally. They don't talk about themselves, but they will talk about you to other people.
Okay. Oh my God. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, they'll talk about other people, and I can give you a whole list.
So narcissists don't like to be vulnerable. They want to be seen as strong.
They like to be on the pedestal.
Yeah.
The covert, like you bow down to that, and that person controls the whole family. The whole family, and the whole family dynamic. So that it's extremely painful. I'm feeling your pain, because I actually have been through this myself. But I'm more on the other side now. What this education does, though, is it helps people to see that it was never you. You never did anything wrong.
Yeah.
You were just being you. And the issues were always with him or her, whoever has hurt you. Covert narcissism is the most vindictive.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't see it. It's not obvious. It looks like that person's got it all together. They want you to believe that. I'll show you this is a covert checklist. So have you got tissues, babes?
I'll go and get you tissues.
I'll
go and get you one. Just bear with me. I'll go and get you one.
They had like 50-something, a list of 50 here, and I've gone through and I've broken it down to the ones that I think people will be able to see. The covert narcissist, you expect an overt, you can see an overt narcissist. They are big personalities generally, and that doesn't mean that everyone with a big personality is a narcissist. It just means that they tend to speak themselves up, like to control the environment, their children, all that. Covert narcissists also all the same stuff, but they just go about it very sneakily, so it's not easy to pick.
So they try and make themselves look perfect, but deep down
they
they're
want
like
the perfect. Yes, everyone, the whole family should look
up to me.
Everyone's moving exactly. I see it as a covert narcissist actually uses people like a chessboard. They move their horse and their bishop and their king and whether they're king or the queen on the board. They will move their pieces, and if those people are not doing their role, they'll be wiped off that board. Yeah, but not just by the queen, not knocked off by the queen or the king.
Yeah, they'll get everybody to.
Everyone on that board no longer wants to play with them. It's like, and that's the smear campaigns. Yeah, they're nasty.
They can quite often be like a duck on water. So you see this calmness on top, where everything's okay, but under the water they're paddling. There's so much more going on, and their minds are. Plotting, yeah. There's quite often paranoia as well. So people are plotting against me, and therefore I have to be
first.
I have to get in there first. Yeah.
And so you're getting these swipes, and you don't really know why. Like, I remember I've said something and then suddenly it'll be like,
yeah, where did that come from?
and I'll be going
you
straight from 0 to like anger at me, and I'll be thinking, what did I say? What did I do? But it was like almost like you're on tender hooks.
Yeah.
You become very, as a child, you become very hyper aware of what's going on in your environment, and you make sure that you don't upset that person. You can tell when you walk in, oh, she's in that mood today. It can be like several different moods, and you get to know it quite well. You don't always get it right, but the older you get, you start to get very, very good at reading. The most empowering thing is understanding what you're looking for, recognising it in that person, and then making a decision for yourself whether you want to stay in that relationship or not, or whether you want to just lessen your contact to see if that works. I have personally, in my situation, tried everything possible that you could say. Nothing worked.
Really?
Nothing worked, to the point where, so there is no relationship. So there's been no contact for.
And even if your argument is correct or fair,
and it's been good.
If they believe, so even if your argument is correct and fair, as the victim, so as the non-narcissist, as the empath, the narcissist will find a way to manipulate it. So they are right, even if they know that what they're saying or what they're doing is completely wrong.
They'll never own it.
They'll never own it. No.
Never.
Absolutely.
The
will always
apologies
be blamed.
will never be like real apologies. Yeah.
So the one that you were saying before, is that like the worst one?
The covert.
Well, they see it as malignant or toxic narcissism, which would probably be the worst, and that's probably moving into the psychopath. You know, like real
sociopath.
Sociopath and. Do you reckon psychopath? Yeah. Psychopaths would be narcissistic. They don't care.
Psychopaths don't care what other people think of them, whereas sociopaths do. So, so if you're psychopathic narcissist, whatever you do, you don't care what.
Yeah, just put him in jail.
Yeah. Whereas a sociopath will want to be seen as like
king of the ball, whatever,
that they never do anything wrong, that it's everybody else's fault but theirs.
Which I think is worse because they're not being themselves. Where there's a psychopath, or is it sociopath?
So think of socio as in
social,
and psychopath as in
psycho.
Like mental.
So psychopaths don't care what you think either way. They don't care what you think of me. They don't care whether you think you're judging. But sociopaths do. Yep. They want to be the bigger the person. They want to be the one on the top of the heap, on the pedestal. So that's the difference.
Yep. So if we use Trump for example,
which we have to be careful of because we do have a lot of American listeners. So
so just
maybe
carefully.
We shouldn't.
But obvious things, and there were times where he gave speeches and very quickly passed blame to other people where he was responsible.
Don't all presidents do that?
Well, I actually have that in my notes about the fact that people will, in the working situation, politicians do it all the time. Yeah. So that's the game of it. But like I said, narcissism is not the same as a narcissistic personality disorder.
Exactly. Yep.
So politicians gaslight each other all the time. You said, I said, she said, he said, I'm right, you're wrong, I win, you lose. That's what they do. That's their game. That's why I hate watching. I actually really despise watching them interact because I go, well, hang on, you've just dismissed everything they've said, but can you not see that maybe there was something in there that you could use as being positive?
Anything they're saying.
Yeah. So, so with this is really important. So with narcissism, normal narcissism, healthy self-love, we need to be a little bit narcissistic in order to put our own boundaries in place, love ourselves, respect ourselves, and love and respect from others, right? So that's why I said we've all got a little bit of it in us, and that's healthy. Self-love and self-hate are at the opposite spectrums, as well as narcissistic personality disorder, and then you've got empaths.
You're empath.
Empaths, like to the extreme, where there is nothing in them anymore. They're just all for other people, and there's no self-love in there. So, does that? Yeah. So moving on.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's hope. I just wanted to get that in there. It's because of this popular.
Which one's the one that you told me is the one?
Covert. Okay. So covert narcissism is still, to me, the one that we're not. It's not easy to see, but these are the sort of the checklist.
Yep.
So let's go through it, and then you can ask me any questions. So, avoids introspection and lacks self-awareness. So we talked about that. Lacks emotional empathy, which we discussed.
Mm-hmm. What if they're like open to like certain person and not the other one? What does that mean?
Oh, well, if they're open to that certain person, can I ask, is that certain person in their mind educated? Above someone that they look up to?
Someone that they're with, like relationship-wise.
How much control do they have over them?
None, basically. They're pretty like, don't tell me what to do to that person.
Okay, so they do have control of the other person.
Yeah.
So they do have control of
the
the
other person that doesn't really have a say in things, they won't emotionally be there, but the other one they will.
Well, as long as that person that's in the relationship with the covert narcissist is doing everything that's required of them, there won't be an issue. They'll be their favourite person. But the minute that they step outside of that line and maybe say, hey, maybe you're being a little bit too hard on Monique, then
they'll kick their back up.
They see that as a...
they're usually calm about it. Like, they're just like, oh... But
that's not good for radio.
They can't see our faces.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably have to talk about that a little bit more. But
out of camera.
Yes, yes. So they're anxious and hypervigilant themselves. So they're on eggshells because they're trying to also read you and see where you're at, see if they're, is passive aggressive and prefers to remain behind the scenes. So they stay behind the scenes. They display rage and contempt in private. So they'll never show it out there because they've got the perfect persona.
Correct.
They cultivate a public image sharply different from his or her private behaviour.
Okay.
So,
and this is where, in that respect, their private behaviour might be how they react to a loved one differently to a friend or a colleague. So in the privacy of their home, they might be domestically violent, which means that they're violent either in control or abusive or in whatever way with their closest, because they know that their closest won't say anything or won't leave them. They're secure. Yeah. Whereas out in public, they will want to be seen as
perfect.
The kindest, the
perfect
best,
image.
the perfect person, the leader, the one that people follow.
Yes. That's true.
Wow.
That's true. They have an exaggerated sense of entitlement. So criticises and judges from the sidelines. And it's done very, very interesting as well. It has been in my case. It doesn't look like it's a criticism, but it so is. But you don't...
It's a backhanding criticism.
Yeah, I was very slow at picking it up.
It's like a mouse or a bird eating... something. It's little picks at a time.
Yes. And do you know what
slowly
else?
Wears you down.
This is another one that's not on here, but it's also half-truths. So if you've ever been told a half-truth, and then found out later what the full truth was, it's like if two people are arguing and you hear one side and you go, wow, that other person is so terrible for what they did, but then you hear what this one said to that one. Well, quite often you will, because it's about moving people into their chest positions, you'll get a part story because they need you to be on side with them regarding that person. So it's really so covert. It's intentional. They're very, very smart.
Sneaky.
Yeah, sneaky. And it happens in workplaces where if someone wants to, get someone out the way of the job promotion, this has happened to me, we'll just, tell this person who they know is going to tell
the other
person, do you know what Teresa did?
Yeah.
And it's partly true, but there was more to it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, or it's an outright lie.
Yeah.
Right, but it can be like it is a part truth.
Yeah.
And then it gets back and then they go, Teresa might not be the best choice for this.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go this way.
And this is why a lot of CEOs are narcissists or show narcissistic tendencies, or leaders
That's
in
how they
in
got
a
there in the
business.
first place.
Yeah, because they show the power to be able to fight through the crap, really. They can work through it and get results. It's not necessarily the best or most people-friendly way, but they get to the top, and they're determined, and they tend to be very, very, very competitive.
I would prefer to get to the top knowing that I've treated people well. I don't want to think that I got to the top and I've stepped on people, but I know there's a lot of people who don't think the way I do, and that's always had me banging my head up against a brick wall because I've tried to understand, and that's probably what's made me get into, studying all these different things, because I'm really trying to understand why people do what they do. However, that being said, I'm still not any the more wiser because I'm just not that person.
No.
That's not how I go about my life.
It's hard to understand.
And I want to be happy. I want to know when I put my head down on the bed at night and I go to sleep that I've not intentionally gone out to step over people and hurt people.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because of what I have been through personally, but I like the way that I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that I've got things to work on.
Haven't we all?
But I've realised everybody else does too, so I don't have to beat myself up over that.
No.
I just got to go, well, there's some things that I need to work on and need to do better. But we're all in the process, and seeing each other as the same
exactly
is just healthy. Like, we're all working through our own
What about
stuff.
the narcissist in my husband's life is all texting, emails, won't do it face to face. Like, they lose their strength if it's face to face.
Covert.
So it's covert. Yeah, that's all email.
Is it like nasty emails?
Oh yeah, toxic stuff. Yeah, it's definitely narcissism, but face to face they crumble into.
I imagine,
or
I would
deal with
suspect that there's a lot of paranoia in that person's mind, and also rumination. So they're really stuck on these ideas and chasing their tail.
I think that's what it is.
Until they explode, and then these nasty text messages. Whereas face to face, they're not fast enough in their mind. Whereas a true narcissist, like a
psychotic,
but in
a sociopath would
Yeah.
have the answers straight away, even if they're.
But don't you find that when you do confront them, it's like you're blown off, or it's misdirected.
I
they
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, or
you're wrong.
you always do this.
Yeah,
you always
I didn't say that. Yeah.
They're common things.
Yes.
You always do this.
Yes.
This
is
no
you,
one
not
else has.
me.
You have a very vivid imagination. That's why I said to you, this subject is so.
It's huge.
Honestly, I would encourage any listener today to go and do some research onto it. If you have not really heard about narcissism, or you just don't understand it, I would really recommend going and doing your own deep dive into it, because once you have this knowledge, you're able to recognise when you're being duped, when someone is not respecting you, and you'll see that there's attitudes within your friends that are narcissistic that maybe need to be brought to their attention.
Yeah.
So some people have, if you were to bring something to my attention, I would be like, okay, all right, I need to.
But you would be empathetic about that.
I would be able
to do that.
To look within myself and go, is there some truth here?
The narcissist won't do that.
No, they can't. They'll be just very upset with the.
So a narcissist can be sympathetic, mostly apathetic, but sympathetic and not necessarily empathic.
Isn't it fake though?
Well,
what's the difference between sympathy and empathy?
So sympathy is saying things like, "Oh, I'm really sorry."
That's just word. I don't think they feel that, do they?
You'll be all right.
Empathy is a feeling. Sympathy is a word, I think.
Yeah, empathy is feeling with someone. So stepping into their shoes and saying, "Hey, I don't understand what you're going through, but I really feel your pain, and I am here to understand that pain better." Whereas sympathy is saying,
"Sorry for your loss."
I acknowledge the pain, but how about we go for a coffee and it'll all be better.
Okay.
Well, narcissists actually get pleasure from other people's pain.
Do they really?
Yeah, so that's more apathy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Awful, I was going to say. Yeah.
They don't care.
Really?
No.
I found with the narcissist in our lives that currently is the only way to deal with it is to not respond. So the more feed it, the more it gets bigger. So just don't feed it at all.
Yep. And they want
That's
that
called
attention.
grey rocking. So you don't give them anything.
Nothing. No.
And then you don't feed anything.
They hate that.
They hate that.
Absolutely hate it.
They really hate that. Yeah. It's called grey rocking.
That's the only way we can deal with it.
But now apparently there's another thing called yellow rocking. I told you to.
Jeez, she has researched.
And now it's when you give them a little bit of attention. But, you just, you go, you give them some, sorry that happened to you. So grey rocking is nothing. You don't give them anything.
No, nothing at all.
So these are like, how much time have we got?
Jeez, not a great deal, but yeah, we could. As I said, we could go on about this for weeks.
Yeah. So, identifies as a victim and plays on sympathies. Really wants people to feel sorry for them.
Yep.
Makes unreasonable demands.
Yeah.
Turns your problems into his or her drama. Who knows that one?
Yes.
I'm sick, but I'm sicker. My toe hurts.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I've got to have a mammogram. I've got to go have an exam done.
Yeah.
I've got cancer. Don't you know I've had cancer?
Yeah.
No. But when it's worse when they go, I've got a sore toe. I need to go to the doctor. After you've just said you've got to go and have a screening for potential cancer.
Yeah, they've got a sore toe. I do know someone that's like
My eye hurts.
That. Yeah. Well, it's had it more than me.
Yeah, but then tells everyone how to feel sorry for them because my daughter is going through this.
Yeah.
Feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Belittles and blames, fakes or exaggerates illness for injury and attention, exploits and or attacks others' vulnerability. So they come along, love bomb you, find out all about you, and then pop those little morsels in their pocket for when they need it to use it against you.
It makes you just want to go and lock yourself in a room, doesn't it?
It makes me sad that people actually do that.
Yeah.
Because I know with myself, this is how I live my life, I choose to live my life, is that if you were to share something deeply personal to you, Michelle, even if we fell out next week, no one would ever know about what you told me.
Which I've had this in the past,
what.
and it's come back to bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
Sorry, radio, bite me in the bottom. Because I've
Bite me in the bum bum.
I have opened up to and opened up my life to people, and they've used it against me when that time came.
Yeah, that's horrific.
It's
so an empath.
That's horrible.
An
really
empath
horrible.
won't buy into the drama. An empath won't keep ammunition for future cause.
No.
Whereas someone who is apathetic and sometimes sympathetic.
Pathetic is the word.
Pathetic,
that's what's in there, yeah.
Be pathetic. Will keep an arsenal of comment and memories about the bad things
and this
that
is
they
years
perceive
later. I'm
that
getting
you've
this
done.
like 4 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, but you said, what? I don't even know what I was wearing or eating that day. How can you tell me what I was saying that day? You know, it's like they're bringing back all that arsenal from years ago.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's not exactly what you said either. It's like, that's not actually what happened.
And does it really matter now anyway? You know?
Rumours. Yeah. So that's called the smear campaigns.
I've had that.
So they're very reactive to questioning or criticism. They withhold from you. So if they know you want something, they won't give it to you.
Wow.
Okay, I'll tell you a story. I asked this person, I needed glasses. I needed some wine glasses, and this person had lots and lots and lots and lots of wine glasses, and I knew that they weren't using them. And I said, look, is there any chance you've got any spare glasses that you don't need? Because I don't have any wine glasses. 12 months later, she gave me glasses. In the meanwhile, I'd bought my own glasses, my own wine glasses. So I bought them, and I when I saw the gift, the first thing was, I bought these for an engagement party that we didn't end up attending. So basically what she was saying was, I didn't even buy these for you. I've had them sitting in there for over 12 months, but she wanted to wait for Christmas to give them to me because she wasn't going to give me a gift.
Another gift, yeah.
And this is like a family. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, they still sit in the box in my cupboard because...
You can't bring...
Should give them back.
You should wrap them up again for Christmas.
Do that. Do the Uno reverse.
That's perfect.
No longer in my life, so that's cool.
I'd mail them then.
So gaslights and triangulates. Triangulates. Yeah. So that's all these hoovering, silent treatment, scapegoating, passive aggression, triangulation. Do you know about these things?
So gaslighting to me is another trendy word. Yep. What does gaslighting exactly mean?
Gaslighting is like me saying to you, your hair is purple and pink, and you going, no, it's not.
Really?
And I go, no, but it is. Like, it's purple.
So I'm the gaslighter.
Pink. Yeah, you're saying, no, it's not. It's actually mauve and
okay.
Violet.
Oh, rightio.
And I'm...
But it's
then I'm confused and I doubt myself because I'm going, but no, they just, okay. And you go, but it's always gaslighting to make you, like, that's a simple thing.
It's like a belittling thing.
You said this to me. I never said that. But yes, you did say it. No, I don't. You've got a very vivid imagination. That's the gaslighting. Oh, you always do like you always do this.
Or you're like this, or you're always like that. Or
you do this. You make me like this. I'm mad because of what you did.
Wow.
Oh, that one. Denies their own anger. So they'll spew at you, but then deny that they've been
nasty.
Angry. Yeah.
Gosh.
So there's... I'm going to put these all onto my Facebook page anyway. And onto the IPL page so everyone can look through it.
Yeah.
Because it does describe scapegoating and scapegoating. Do you know that one?
Not really. Again, it's just a label. It's just you really scapegoats.
It does mean something though. So a scapegoat in the family is the person that gets the blame for everything. So there'll be someone in the family who's probably really is doing the wrong thing, but they've got their little favourite scapegoat. So the scapegoat is the one that who is letting the family down from being this perfect
and they're always
thing.
The problem.
Always the problem. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't have that. I don't think.
I think I'm that person.
Probably me too.
I am that person in my family, but I'm actually the happiest.
Whatever.
I'm the happiest in my family. So it's envious and vengeful and holds a grudge. Gossips and is inattentive or annoyed when others talk. Flatters and fawns to win favour. So with the people that they want favour with, they'll flatter them. Resists decision making and avoids direct responsibility.
Have you ever had somebody who couldn't care less about you normally, day to day, suddenly become your best friend because, they love you so much.
Because you got that little promotion that can now help them.
They really, they're so sorry that they don't spend more time with you and, I just really want to spend time with you. But I need you to do me a quick favour. This kind of like... use you for whatever they want, and then all of a sudden, as quickly as they've picked you up, you're back on the verge again. Yeah. Like, oh no, I'm too busy. I don't want to talk. Oh, did you see what she did?
Yeah.
Or she didn't help me. I asked her a favour, and and she said no. Yeah.
How do you? What's your response to that? So you can see it coming.
Oh no, I'll pick somebody out. I'll say, come on, like you don't pay me any attention normally, and all of a sudden,
what do you need?
Yeah, what do you need?
Yeah, like I've got someone in my life that would call if they need something, but other than that, I would never ever hear from them. I've got to be careful with whether I say.
See, yeah. I'm the person that will call somebody, and I keep in regular contact with all of my friends. I make sure that they're okay. I see if there's something they can do. But I've got friends or acquaintances
be careful
that
with
will
that word.
suddenly, like out of the blue, send me a message and say, I need something.
Exactly.
And I'm like, well, you don't do anything. And they never do anything for me.
Exactly. But
it's always for them.
Do you still go out of your way and do it? I would.
Generally, not anymore. I used to.
Yeah, see, and they know that I'll say yes. See, that's what I'm working on this year is saying no.
I don't generally get asked. They just go, well, I don't know why. I think sometimes I would help more, but they're not. When they do ask me, kind of skirt around a little bit, like, Teresa, can you put out?
People are embarrassed to ask,
maybe. Can you just do, and I'm like, yeah, cool. But I also, because I can be very, I'm very able to do things. I don't want to step on people's toes
Exactly.
if it's their event or it's their thing. So I don't want to be controlling about a particular thing. That's another thing, because I'm when I have my own parties, for instance, I have all my playlists, all, from like, when you rock up and you got your first, you're having your first little bubblies, and it's all just, a bit of, Miley Cyrus sort of playing there in the background,
it gets heavier as the night goes along.
Bit of and then it starts to pick up with some 80s songs and a bit of,
And hell to God if you touch that bloody stereo system and change it.
Well, it did happen one time, and it wasn't a good result. But true. But I got asked to do someone else's party, and I said, look, here are some playlists that I've used in the past. Take whatever you want out. Put your favourite songs in there.
Yeah.
And she was really happy with that.
Yeah.
I was really mindful of the fact that I could totally do your music. But I thought, this is your party. Yeah. It's a special one, and it's really important you put your love songs in there.
Maybe she wanted you to completely take over.
I know, but
you weren't sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Yeah. I'm really careful because I do have a strong personality.
Yeah.
So I'm very able, and I love music. I have a music background. I've done events, all different types of things. So I'm really about all the details, and I believe the music is so important in an event.
In anything.
So, but see, that's the opposite, is I don't know how far sometimes.
And there's those people who will say, you're so good at, I don't know,
whatever,
cooking. Yeah. So I want you to make that dish and then you show up with whatever they've asked you, and it's not good enough. It doesn't look right, or it's not in the right dish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
it's
mean.
happened to me.
That's mean.
It's happened to me before.
Wow.
So weird.
Yeah, so these people that they ask you for something and then they criticise you for what you've done rather than being appreciative.
Thank you for bringing it.
Yeah.
It's like thank you for bringing it, but it's not really what I wanted.
I can't be bothered with, like, if I've asked somebody to
I just
do
appreciate
something
the fact they brought something
I appreciate what they've done. I don't have the energy to pick a fight,
or even the thought process of everything.
No, it doesn't cross my mind.
The right dish, or that's not what I want.
I don't like. I'd rather just enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Than
it's really.
Did you see what she did? She bought that dish, and I asked her to bring it, but she didn't do it like she normally does it.
Yeah,
and it tasted terrible. I think she did that on purpose.
Or she missed a few things along the way.
Or she's gone cheap. She hasn't used the ingredients. She bought
that dish because she was worried that she was going to leave it.
That's happened to me before.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? Like, we could go on for days and weeks about this, and it's something that you start thinking. I don't know whether it's a good thing to think about, because a lot of the time, a narcissist, we can't control them in any way. Like,
we can't control any other human being.
We can't fix it. You have to find your way of dealing with that person, whatever it may be, because they'll have their own. Like, there could be the fact that they're controlling or belittling or whatever. So you need to find your way of getting away from that, because there's no way of fixing it.
Teresa made a comment earlier about how important it is to bring that behaviour to their attention.
I think we should bring it to their attention, but we also could just try not to label people. Every single person you meet who you don't like is a narcissist because they've got something in their character. Approach people with the same grace that you want. So, you might see something within them that you don't really like. It's not your favourite thing about them, but we can say that all are friends.
There's always something.
There'll be something small, and you got to let these things go.
Of course.
If it's affecting you directly, not your friend, not your brother, not your sister, not your mum, your dad, someone else that you want to go jump in and fight for them, because they've got to fight their own battles, right? We've all got our own battles to fight. If there's something that you see within that person and you think, this is really affecting me in a negative way, ask them why they do it. Use the why did you say that to me? What? And if they back up on you, then you get to decide as your own person whether that person deserves a place in your life or not. I know that sounds really cut and dry, but we allow it.
Yeah, we do.
In our life. We've got to make a decision. So there are some really, really bad relationships out there right now, and there could be someone listening who is in a marriage where they are married to a narcissistic man. Their whole life revolves around them. All women, yes, but it's mostly men.
Well, different types of narcissism.
Well, that's right, because narcissists, they say that because of Instagram, narcissism is just, once again, people get confused about the outward showing.
Yep.
Is they think that that's narcissistic because of beauty and all that kind of stuff, and being overly with the outside.
And you would notice it's different with males
obsessed.
and females. So girls will be like with all the girl stuff, and then the guys will be all about the guy stuff being the alpha and everything, and then the girl's just like, I'm the queen. What are you talking about?
It's more of a character trait though than anything outward. So on Instagram, people are just needing likes all the time in order to feel good about themselves. There's a low self-esteem there.
Exactly.
That's not always narcissism.
No.
But narcissism...
Because you talk to them and you go, oh my gosh, you are such a beautiful, lovely person.
Yeah.
You don't see that.
No.
You realise they are empathic, they are beautiful, but they're very overly... a lot of attention on the outside and less attention on the inside. Yeah. So we judge people based on what we think.
What we see.
And I think that's really careful. If any message I can get across is please don't label everybody narcissist until they prove that they are, in the sense of you bring it to
I think that's what's important. So it takes, from a psychological point of view, it takes a long time to diagnose a narcissist. Yeah. Because their behaviour isn't just isolated to one.
Because they love bomb you very nicely.
They can really pull you in and then, as you say, push you away.
It's the push. When you start to realise one day this person is all over me, the next minute they're pushing me away and then pulling me. The push-pull with an overt narcissist is, if you've been in that, in a relationship with someone like that, it is the weirdest. Weirdest thing.
I was,
It doesn't make sense.
And it's like very hurtful for the other person.
But the idea is for you to confuse you and for you to lose your sense of self.
Yeah.
That's where it's damaging. And before you know it, I think that did happen to me in my dating time before I met my husband. I was single, ready to mingle there for a little while, and I met someone like that, and I'd never met anybody like it before. So I do believe that man had a narcissistic personality disorder because he really was clueless. Do you know what kind of an IQ I've got? And because I'm quite outspoken, I said, that doesn't give you the ability to get along with people though, does it? He just couldn't. He wouldn't have, and we just did clash. But it's a weird dynamic. So I do think it's really about, once you realise within yourself, this is not making me feel valued.
I think that's what it comes down to in the end, doesn't it?
And then making that
is
decision.
this person going to be in my life? Can I deal with this person in my life or not? I mean, because it's our choice.
I had a long-term partner almost 15 or more years ago now, who I never knew I sat anxiously each night wondering what mood he would come home in. And I realised towards the end that in the 7 years that we were together, he had very infrequently asked how I was going.
Wow.
Or how my day was. But I asked every single day, how's your day? What's happened? And I'd hear the whole story and I'd get nothing back. But it was that horrible feeling inside every day of what mood is he going to be when he walks through that front door?
Yeah.
Am I going to get crucified? Or am I going to get...
They're living on eggshells.
And it's really terrible for the non-narcissist because they've got to react in a positive way to support the narcissist. And if you don't...
And it's always putting yourself down.
It's exhausting, And then you start second-guessing your worth and your own sensibility, and if you've been empathic. And, it can be really detrimental to your health.
And it's not nice to not being asked how you are. I've been in situations where I've done all the asking and people have just like
it's all
not
one-sided.
Yeah. So it has to be that balance of like, how are you? And wait for the answer.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you? Oh, there's the bubblies, you know.
Yeah.
So what I used to do is say, oh yeah, I'm fine, thank you for asking, and make a real point of it. And the narcissist would get really frustrated at that.
Wow. It really riles them up.
Yeah.
You'll see it if you say, oh yeah, thanks, I'm okay.
Yep.
Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. We might have to leave it there because
absolutely.
we've been talking for a while and it's been very interesting and a lot for us to go home and think about.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Teresa, for coming in, and you'll put that on your website and on our website and or our Facebook page, so we can have a good read about that because it's very in depth. Like we've just skimmed it today, and if anyone has any issues with today that's been quite upsetting, I know Monique was quite upset by it. Please, if you need to ring Lifeline on 13 11 14, please don't get too upset by it. If you need someone to talk to, then ring Lifeline 13 11 14 and chat with someone about it because it is
no matter how alone you feel, you are not alone.
No.
There's many others that are going through it, but also there's lots of help out there.
Absolutely. There's lots of help out there, and definitely get hold of someone. If you haven't got someone in your life to talk to that you're comfortable and safe to talk to, then please ring Lifeline.
Yeah, and they can also message me through my Facebook page as well if they want to have.
Can you repeat your Facebook page? Because I can.
Life Being in It.
Oh, Life Being in It. That's correct. Yes.
On Facebook, so I will put it onto the IPL page. The my notes I've got here, and then
So if they text, does it go straight to you and they talk to you only, or is it other people?
No, if you privately message me through my page,
it is true.
It'll just go to me.
Yes.
Just to me. No, there's just me.
Just you
can message me.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! There's no Chinese.
Oh my god! We're besties already.
There's no Chinese switchboard in between or anything like that. So again, thank you so much. It has been a difficult conversation and
heavy one.
It is a heavy one because I think there's a narcissist in everybody's life somewhere. It's how we deal with it is what matters in the end. Yep. So let's leave it at that and let's bring a little bit of 80s in because it's always something that makes you feel better. Let's brighten the mood a little bit.
Yes,
so thanks again, and let's listen to some Spandau Ballet. Woo.